What's up, the John Squad? You know what that time is today. You know what that time is today. It is time for Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays. That's right, the John Squad. I'm back here today with another Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays. We're going to talk more. We're going to break down the Midnight Raw on Monday and other things like that and other wrestling news that happened over the week. So here we go. So, on Monday Night Raw, we open up the show with Raw kicks off with Seth Rollins. Seth says that he still is the United States Champion despite Austin Theory attempting to cash in on him last week. Bobby Lashley then came out and interrupted and claims that he will keep giving Seth beatdowns until he gets the U.S. title back. But then Mustafa Ali comes out and interrupts and all that and attacks Lashley, but Lashley fights him off. Lashley says that if Ali wants to get wrecked again, they can do it in a match. So then they have a match and Bobby Lashley beats Mustafa Ali. So then AJ Styles challenged Finn Balor to a match at Survival Series, and that match is official for AJ Styles versus Finn Balor at Survival Series. Then we had Mia Yim beated Tamina in a match. Then Damage Control backstage during a backstage segment asked Mia Yim to join their War Games team for Survival Series, but she declined. So we had Chad Gable beats Matt Riddle with help from Otis, and that's what happened there. And that match was pretty okay, but I just not a fan of that match at all. I wasn't a fan of it, but it's still a good one. Then we had The Miz, who sat down and talked about Dexter Lumis. So The Miz admits he was paying Dexter Lumis to pretend to stalk him so he could get empathy from the WWE Universe. Miz claims he stopped paying Dexter because Dexter was greedy and kept coming to him for more money and he couldn't keep up the payment. That's what The Miz said, right? So Miz claims that he was depressed in his hotel room over the weekend over the whole situation. Johnny Gargano then comes out and interrupts The Miz, and that The Miz was not depressed and was on vacation with Marlies and wants Miz to stop lying. So then Johnny announced that in 2 weeks, everybody, in 2 weeks, that's right, the John Squad, in 2 weeks, The Miz will face Dexter Lumis. If The Miz wins, right, Dexter will leave Miz alone. If Dexter wins, he gets a WWE contract, and The Miz will pay Dexter back. Miz will Dexter all back pay money. He will pay back all his money. You know what I mean? He will pay back all his money he owes. Miz says Dexter gets nothing from him. Dexter is revealed to be a cameraman and chases after the Miz. I thought that was a funny sentence. Then we had Dominic Mysterio defeated Sultan Benjamin on Monday Night Raw on Monday. So we had a backstage segment with Austin Theory blames Bobby Lashley for ruining his WWE Money in the Bank cash in, and he says it wasn't for Bobby, he would have had the best cash in of all time. Dolph Ziggler interrupts and says that Theory had the worst Money in the Bank cash in of all time, while he was the greatest cash in, and points out that he gave Theory advice in the past for his ego wouldn't listen to him. Theory challenged Ziggler in a match. Then we're gonna have a match later on in the show, right? We had a match later on in the show. So Io Sky beat Dana Brooke. After the match, Mia Yim comes out and Mia says she decided to join Team Bianca Belair at War Games. So Dolph Ziggler beats Austin Theory by DQ. After the match, he attacked Dolph Ziggler, and Austin Theory just snaps and goes berserk and just snaps and just kept on attacking Dolph Ziggler. So then Rhea Ripley is the final member for Team Damage Control for War Games. So then Baron Corbin beat Akira Tozawa in a match. So then we had the main event on Raw. We had with Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins beats Finn Balor to retain the United States title. Judgment Day and the OC got involved in the match and fight at ringside. Then Austin Theory comes out and just attacks Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory snaps. And he just completely loses his mind. Austin Theory snaps and just is upset because he lost his Money in the Bank contract, and that was one of the worst failed contracts I admit it, but still, there's plenty more other failed cash-ins, but still. Austin Theory snaps. So Austin Theory loses control on this past Monday, and at least Seth Rollins still the United States champion. So anyway, on SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown this week, we are actually gonna have the WWE World Cup, and also we're also gonna have the World Cup, but also, during the house show, Kevin Owens suffered an MCL sprain at a WWE house show over the weekend, right? And he expected to be out of action for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So that happens there. That's sad for Kevin Owens. Pray for Kevin Owens because he's such a good worker. That's sad for Kevin Owens. I don't really see anybody get injured. You know what I mean? So that's why. So then, on SmackDown, on Friday Night SmackDown this week, we're having the WWE World Cup I mentioned, right? And what we're gonna have is, what we're gonna have on the show is, bear with me here, but I'm just sad for Kevin Owens because that's so sad. So we're having Sami Zayn in the World Cup, and he's gonna be fighting. We have Mustafa Ali in the World Cup, and we're also getting Braun Strowman advanced on the World Cup too, by the way, on SmackDown. So that's what happened there, and the WWE World Cup is happening this Friday on SmackDown, and I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what happens. But I know that we're getting Sami Zayn in the World Cup, right? And also WWE taped tribute to the troops after SmackDown up there on Friday. So it's just something big in wrestling, but so then what's set for this week's on SmackDown is Shayna Baszler versus Shotzi, right? Ricochet versus Mustafa Ali in the World Cup tournament, and Butch versus Sami Zayn in the World Cup tournament too. That's what happened this Friday on SmackDown. Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet. Now that match is gonna go tear the house down. Leave your comments down below what your prediction of the Third Cup. Do you want Ricochet to win, or do you want Mustafa Ali to win? Leave your comments down below in the comments. Or do you want Butch versus Sami Zayn, and do you want Sami Zayn to win the World Cup? Butch versus Sami Zayn. So leave your comments down below. And Shotzi also gets a title shot against Ronda Rousey too. So that's another thing that happened in the world of wrestling. Shotzi gets a title shot against Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Survivor Series. So I think that's gonna do it here for the Wonderful World of Wrestling. I think I covered most of everything. Braun Strowman beat Jinder Mahal to advance to the next round of the World Cup tournament, and that's about it. And then LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, we had them talking to each other backstage, so that was another thing that happened on SmackDown, and there's lots of things happen. Austin Theory snapped, so he's out of control. Austin Theory now, he's officially out of control. So that's what happened there. So anyway, once again, the John Squad, please like this video if you love Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays, and subscribe for more. You're all the best, John Squad. You're one of a kind of each and every single one of you guys. You mean a lot to me. And a huge shout out to Coach Jim. Thank you, Coach Jim, for coming up with this idea for me to do on Wednesdays. I appreciate it a lot. So hopefully you're enjoying it. So anyway, can't wait for the World Cup, and it's gonna be a great one. Hopefully Sami Zayn wins, and hopefully I think Ricochet's probably gonna win, but it'll be something if Ricochet wins. But I know Coach Jim's a big Ricochet fan too, so that's why. So once again, please like this video. Leave your comments down below and subscribe for more. You're all the best, John Squad. You're one of a kind of each and every single one of you guys. You mean a lot to me. And subscribe for more. Next week, tune in for another Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays right before Thanksgiving. Peace out, guys. God bless. Love you guys.